Here's an adductor stretch that can help with splits, leg day, and more. Begin kneeling and bring your right foot forward, swiveling your left leg perpendicular. Line up your knee with your right foot. Be sure that your hips are square and turn your right knee out so it lines up with your middle toes. This is the most important part for safety. Begin to slide your right knee over your toes, going into a split stretch, sitting down into your right hip as you stretch your left adductors. Adductors are your inner thighs. You'll feel this probably in your right as well. Be sure that your hips remain square, and now we're going to change it by pushing the hips forward and then sitting a little bit lower into the stretch. The hips shift forward as though they are a box. The whole front of the box goes forward, so it's not a tuck or an arch, it's more of a leg shift. You'll feel this intensify the stretch in the front of the inner thighs, where the seams of your pants come up and attach towards the front of your pelvis. Changing sides now. Left leg steps forward, right leg swivels. Set your legs perpendicular and square your hips. Be sure that your left knee lines up over your middle toes. That is very important. I'm not really coming out of the stretch. I'm going into it as deeply as I can and then just backing off of that stretch a little bit, keeping both hips square and my front knee wide. Adding the push of the hips forward. I usually do about 5 to 8 of each type of these. You'll notice that the left leg hip or the front leg hip often has a harder time pushing forward, so really try to bring that more to the front of your body as you go. Your whole torso, shoulders, and hips should remain nice and stacked. And that is your adductor stretch. Now a few final tips and tricks. Be sure that when you set your hips up, the front leg hip isn't hiked. You don't want to push forward and keep it hiked either. So sit down into that sit bone as much as you can for every lunge.